My name is Amanda, and I'm with the Tampa Hillsborough County Public Library, and it is my pleasure today to introduce Morgan from Pet Resources. So Morgan, go ahead and say hi to everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining us. We are about to get right into the info of the program, but before we do, I would like to share actually a resource shout out with our audience. So as you may know, reading is year-round fun, but there is still a week of summer reading left. If you are looking to log those reading hours and you are looking for something fresh to read and you are interested in pets and animals, I do want to let everybody know that we now have magazines available through Overdrive. So before on Overdrive, you could get ebooks, digital audiobooks, and you could get some videos. Now we have a great collection of magazines. So we have them for all ages, and we do have some just for pet lovers out there. So if you're an adult or an older reader and you're interested in pets, you might want to check out Pets Magazine, which is a bi-monthly magazine, and it has all sorts of information, articles about pets and pet owners. And if you're a little bit of a younger reader, you can check out some of our youth-based magazines. So we do have National Geographics for kids. That is less pet info, but if you are an animal enthusiast, you will definitely enjoy those articles in that magazine. And we also have a fun magazine called Animal Tales. That is a mix of animal, all sorts of different animals. So some could be domestic, like cats and dogs, and some could be wild animals. So some of it's informational, some of it's fun, but those are a great resource. You can actually find Overdrive at hcplc.org/books, or if you want to go directly to our Overdrive page, you can go to hcplc.overdrive.com. And remember, if you are reading and logging those reading hours for summer reading challenges, there is still a week left to log those reading hours. So please visit hcplc.beanstack.org. I'm going to go ahead and ship out to the to our PowerPoint from Pet Services. So let's go ahead and get that started. So Morgan, I'm going to take my camera off. I will be back at the end to read the questions section, and I will pass it over to you.
All right, that sounds great. All right, everyone, if you're just joining us, my name is Morgan. I'm an employee over at Hillsborough County Pet Resources. We're going to discuss Caring for Pets 101, some fun tips. And if you are watching, my webcam is currently not working, so we apologize for that. So we are located at 440 North Falkenberg Road. So you see a lovely picture of our entrance. So you can come on down and visit us. The first things we're going to discuss is our 2020 updates. 2020 was a hard year for a lot of people, but for us here at Pet Resources, we were actually able to adopt out over 7,000 animals. That is great. Of those 7,000 animals, of the animals that came into our facility in 2020, 94% of the dogs were able to get adopted out and 90% of the cats. So that was some great news for us here. We were also able to initiate real life rooms. Real life rooms are actually a room for some of the dogs to go into. It's like a transition room. So they have kennels that they can be in, but the real life rooms allow them to have a TV, a radio. It helps them adjust to moving into a home and set them up for future adoptions. So we also were able to bring onto staff some behaviorists. So our animal behaviorists actually were able to take 319 animals at intake whenever they were deemed unadoptable. They were able to work with them and get them out into loving homes. Another thing that we were able to implement in 2020 was a sensory garden. We'll have the video at the end for you. The sensory garden is an amazing place for the animals. It has a waterfall. It has some digging yards. It has a tunnel they can crawl into. It also has some plants they can sniff in. It's amazing. It could kind of replicate a backyard. So it gives the animals just a little escape from their day-to-day life here at PRC. All right, so we're gonna get right into it. Pets 101. So the most important thing is keeping our pets healthy. One of the things that we recommend right off the bat at our adoptions is selecting a veterinarian, because you don't want to get your new pet home and then not know who to turn to. So That's one of the most important things you can do right after adopting your animal and bringing home your new friend, is find a doctor for them. So that way they have someone they can turn to instead of having to scramble at the last minute. So when you talk to those vets, you're actually going to set up a vaccine schedule. Some puppies and kittens, they require a few more vaccines than general older animals. Another thing you're going to do, sorry, I have a cat walking around me right now. Another thing you're going to do is they're going to be on a monthly prevention. That actually keeps parasites off of them. It could be internally or externally. So like fleas and ticks or heartworms. Then moving on into heartworms. Heartworms are actually spread via mosquito bite. So keeping our pets on their monthly prevention actually can prevent them from getting the heartworms. So a mosquito bites an infected dog and then bites an uninfected dog, and then that's how it spreads. So a mosquito bites an infected dog and then bites an uninfected dog, and then it takes about 7 months for heartworms to actually develop in the heart. All right, so next. So this was going to be a big part of our presentation, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to do it since the video camera is not working. So one of the things we do here in Hillsborough County, and most of the counties in Florida, we actually have pet licensing. It's similar to a car license. How you have your car registered with the state of Florida, you need to have your pets licensed. The pet license actually follows the rabies vaccine. So in Hillsborough County, we have tags. They're good for either 1 year to 3 year. It all depends on your rabies vaccination. So you can actually, you get your rabies vaccination from the vet's office, and then you're going to come here and get your pet license. Another most important thing is a microchip. So microchips are only about $20 to $30, but they can actually get your pet back to you. We recently had an encounter where a pet had been missing for 3 years. They came here, we were able to scan the microchip and reunite that family back with their pet after 3 years because they had a microchip. Another thing you can do for your pet is having an ID tag. Everybody likes to have a necklace with their name on it, and your pet would love to have a necklace with their name on it. So get their name on it and a phone number. The last thing about safety is proper foods. As much as our pets want to eat everything with us, we just cannot share all of the foods. I enjoy chocolate, but we just can't share chocolate with our pets. So another thing is, a lot of people ask what type of foods to feed our pets. The most important thing when we're picking out food is that if you look at that first ingredient on the food bag, it's a protein. All right, next up, we have enrichment. This is one of my favorite pictures. This actually shows some of our playgroups. So enrichment can be anything. It's anything out of the normal. So just going for a walk, if you don't get to go for a walk at a certain time of the day. So physical. That could be digging in a tunnel, you know, looking at yourself in the mirror, all those fun things. Sensory is smell. I know, I enjoy whenever the coffee pot goes off in the morning and getting coffee or bacon. Just think how much the pets just want to, you know, smell anything good. They enjoy that different smells. Nutritional could be food. Any type of food, or you can even put their food into puzzle feeders. It slows them down. It allows them to take their time eating, but also using their natural instincts of having to dig and forage for food. Cognitive is also, again, the puzzles, interactive toys, toys that talk back to them and make different sounds. They have to figure out how they work. And also food. They love the food, getting the food out of the puzzle feeders. And last, social. Our pets are very social creatures. They want to be with their friends, so taking them out to a dog park or just being with them, letting them have off-leash play. All right. So we discussed the license that we have in Hillsborough County. If you go to our website, if this goes for any animal you find, if you see a Hillsborough County tag on it, you can actually go on our website and look it up. So you don't have to bring them here. Most pets, about 50% of the pets that you find are actually in their neighborhood, just spending a few minutes looking around, because most of the time people are looking for their pets if they know they're lost. So spending some time in the neighborhoods, looking for people that are actively searching for pets, you're going to be able to relocate the pet to the owner. But if you can't and they have a county tag on, you can go on our website and search that county tag or a microchip. Both of those work, and then you don't even have to see us, and you can reunite that pet to its owner. All right, so everyone needs an extra furry friend in their life. This is actually our website. So all of the animals we have here at our facility are all online. Our website updates every 15 minutes, and you can actually go to our online kennel. It has a profile on the animals. It has all of their behavior, any medical that we have for them, and you can actually submit a request online. All right, so this is another view of our online kennel. And it shows dogs and cats. It also shows foster. We do have pets on foster. Our foster program is available. If anybody is interested in fostering, you can email us and let us know, or come stop by and ask us some questions. That just lets you take an animal and home with you and visit for about 2 weeks. It gets them out of the shelter. Then you're able to give us some feedback on what they like. Do they like car rides? You know, how do they get along with your pets at home? And then also being able to take them out and show them off and say, hey, I've got this great animal with me and they need a new home. And you can actually help get animals out of our facility and get them into loving homes. All right. And that's about all we have for today here. Amanda, if you'd like to open it up for questions, we can take some questions. Or actually, if you would do the video first.
Oh, let's go ahead and do the video. So I'm going to go ahead and share that video of the sensory garden.
Oh, that will be great. That's Betty there. I had the pleasure of meeting Betty when we did that video. She is the sweetest thing out here. She needs a new home. So if anybody is interested in adding an extra friend in their life, please send in a request for her because she is amazing. She loves snuggles.
Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to come back on camera, and I am sharing our slide for our shout out again. We did get some feedback. Some people had trouble seeing the shout out. So these are the magazines we were talking about. They are all digital magazines. You can check them right out from your computer, phone, or tablet. And again, I'm going to leave that up for just a second so you can see the websites there. And let's go ahead and get into some of the questions we have from the audience. Also, that was very cool we had with the video of the sensory garden to just show them what the experience is a little bit like and what we have there. And it was nice to see Betty, who maybe is looking for a home. Okay, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to go ahead and take this down really quick so we can get into some of our questions. So our first question is actually, and this is something probably you guys hear a lot, Morgan, in the summertime or maybe even winter when it's less hot. But if somebody has their pet in the car, maybe their dog or cat or a different pet, and they're running errands, they want to know if they're out running errands, is it okay to leave their dog or cat or pet in the car for just a few minutes?
That is a fabulous question. I know I love to take my animals with me everywhere I go just so they can get socialized. But unfortunately, just how we get hot in the car, the pets can get hot in the car. For example, even in Florida, it is rare to see 60-degree, 70-degree days outside. But a 60 to 70-degree day outside, a pet being in your car unattended, you know, the AC is not on, even having the windows cracked, in 10 minutes, it can get up to be 90 degrees in that car.
Wow.
Personally, I don't want to be in 90-degree weather. So as much as we want to take our pets, we just really cannot leave them unattended. Even having those windows down, cracked open, one, they could always get out, but then it just gets too hot in there. So if you want to take your pets with you, you definitely need to have an air conditioner on and preferably having someone staying with them.
That is understandable. I know at the end of the workday, sometimes you go out into your car and it's much hotter when you turn it on. It's much hotter than the outside temperature. So it definitely, that is understandable. We do have another question from the audience, and it is there a recommendation for types of flea and heartworm prevention?
Oh, that is a good question. So here at Pet Resources, we use Advantage Multi, and we do get it from our vets, order that in. So it is the vet grade, and that's for dogs, and it covers fleas and heartworm prevention all in one. We also use Revolution for the cats. So personally, that's what we use here.
And are these are, I guess, that is a good question. I'm not sure, I think that is what they were asking, but is there different types of prevention? Is it always like a pill or a medication? Or I know sometimes with fleas, you can do flea collars maybe. So are there different types of prevention, or are there not? Is it mainly?
Yes, that is. That's a great question. So yes, the Advantage Multi we use here at Pet Resources is a topical, and it does cover both fleas and heartworms. We're able to, here being in the vet clinic, they're able to administer it per the weight for the animal. The only downside to the topical is that it does take about a day for it to dry and sink into their skin. Whereas there are oral medications that they can eat. It does take a little bit, the fleas have to bite them to die. They do make flea collars. Those can work just as well as a topical, but they do take a little bit of monitoring. And they also do make an injectable heartworm prevention.
Oh, okay. So there are different methods out there too, and it's probably you want to talk with your veterinarian about what is best for your pet. Okay.
Yes, it is always.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. It's always best to get your medication from your vet clinic, because they're going to be able to provide correct dosage for your pet instead of just trying to guess how much they weigh, what is going to cover all of it. And they're going to know what is the most current of parasites or in your area to be able to give you the best medication.
This is a good question, and I think you covered it a little bit in the program, but a lot of times people think of Pet Resources for adopting pets or for, lost and found pets. But you were kind of mentioning through some of your other services, are there services for people who already have pets? What kind of things they can take advantage of?
Well, we don't really offer the services for them to come here. Our vet clinic takes care of the pets in our care, but we do have behaviors on staff that we're talking about the behavior for our pets. So if anybody has questions, they can reach out to us before, if they, a lot of people reach out to us to surrender their pets, and we try to work with them if there's anything behaviorally going on to be able to give them all the resources they can to keep the pets in their home.
Here's another good question, which is if you don't have a yard, or maybe you don't have your own yard because you're in an apartment, or you don't have a fenced in yard, is it okay to chain up your dog outside or put them on a chain?
That is a great question. And it's actually called tethering in Hillsborough County. And that can be on any type of a chain or a rope tied to a fence or a tree. And actually tethering is illegal, but there is, if you are outside, so if you live in an apartment complex and you have a railing, you have your pet outside, if you are outside with your pet 100% of the time, they have access to water, you can have them tied out, but you have to be with them. So that way they can get a little bit of freedom away from you, not just that 6 foot, that's a leash law, but they have to be under your control, and they can be a little bit further away from you as long as you are with them.
Oh, here's
a great question.
Here's actually a good one. I know this is kind of a long question, and we actually do have books probably about this in the collection that we could help you find. But we know kind of different dogs have different personalities. People want to know, what are some of the most social dogs maybe, or the dogs you would recommend for families? What kind of dogs would be the best type?
So I don't actually have a breed recommendation, because it's all about how you socialize your pet. A lot of pets come in here. I briefly discussed it in the presentation, the 319 pets that came in that were under-socialized, and they were deemed not adoption candidates, and our behaviors were able to work with them to get them to be adoption candidates. So it's more taking the time to work with your animals to make them that social, and taking them out and understanding their cues. There's a lot of videos out there just to understand dog behavior, because how they talk to each other is different than how we talk to each other. So
oh, that's a good,
that is a great question.
That is a good one too. And I like that you said that it's kind of how you socialize them. And I like that you said that so often through the things, because dogs going in, in different scenarios, it's going to affect them differently. So I think we always hear that like golden retrievers are energetic and outgoing and certain dogs are less, but really a lot of it sounds like there are also a lot of learned behaviors there, depending on, lifestyle and how you interact with them and how you help them interact with the world. So that is a good question. And then let's end with one more question before we get into the closing information. So if you find a lost pet or a stray animal, what should you do? Should you bring them in? Should you call pet services? What is the best method there for people who are kind of encountering lost animals?
That is a fabulous question, because we discuss this every day. We always have citizens just coming up, I found this animal. Most of the pets that are brought to us are lost in their neighborhood, and there's an owner looking for them. For example, one time we had a pet that got away from their owner. We live in Florida. There's a thunderstorm and they were scared.
Oh,
The person found them. They brought them here where their first thought. The owners had been out looking for them. By the time they got here, the owners had already been looking for 20 minutes. So they were only away from their owners for about half an hour because the citizens came straight here instead of just looking. So the best thing you can do is actually stay in that neighborhood where you found the pet and look if you see anyone frantic, screaming a pet's name, looking just out there looking stressed. That's the biggest thing. The next would be either coming here, going to any vet clinic or any pet store that has a microchip scanner and having them scanned for a microchip. Because only about 16% of pets actually have microchips. It's a very inexpensive chip. It is not a GPS chip. It's just a chip that has information on it. And scanning that has the owner's information. But the other thing is wearing that county tag we discussed. If you have that county tag, you can go on our website and you can pull up all the information and you can actually get a hold of the owner before they come here.
So as pet owner, it sounds like prevention is key. So thank you so much, Morgan.
Yes.
I'm actually going to share. That brings us to the end of our program today. I want to thank you for sharing all of that great information with us. If you do have more questions for Morgan or more pet resources related questions, you can definitely find their website through the county. So if you want to contact the library, you can go to hcplc.org/contact, or you can give us a call at 813-273-3652. As I mentioned, we still have a week of summer reading, so you can always go to hcplc.org/summer. And let's go ahead and get back into that PowerPoint of Morgan's so we can give you the correct address for finding, and that is hcflgov.net/pet. So I'm going to go ahead and make that big for our closing information, hcflgov.net/pet. So if you do have any questions for pet resources, or if you want to follow up with anything that we learned today, that is definitely where you can find them. Once again, thank you for joining us. We hope we will see you at a program soon. Thank you. Bye.